So the next thing that we want to do is we want to start programming our bird actor to move up and down. So we'll click on the bird actor with the backstage still open. You can see that there's no programming here inside the bird. So what we want to do is create a rule. So I'll click Create a Rule icon right here. And we basically want that rule to pay attention to this attribute that we created earlier, which was this bird state attribute. So the rule is going to say this. We'll type in the word attribute, and we're going to choose that attribute. So we'll click on the little A down arrow here. We'll click on Attributes, Game, and then double click on Bird State. So we're basically saying this. When the bird state attribute is the word fall, then what do we want to happen? So in the do section here, we're going to type in accelerate. We want to change the dial so that we accelerate down, so 270. I'm going to just choose a value of 600. So all we did here was say when the bird state attribute that we created earlier is set to the word fall, then I want our bird to accelerate downward. So because this attribute is already set to the word fall, then if we preview this, our bird should start falling right away. So our bird does accelerate downward, and we can see because we have that wrap on, our bird disappears out of the bottom of the camera area, our scene here, and then comes in from the top. So let's back this up. And let's just experiment by changing the bird state default from fall to something like any other word we want. So the word kitten, let's say. So because this isn't true anymore, the bird state is fall, accelerate downward, then it's not going to happen. See, it's not set to fall, so our bird isn't paying attention to that rule. So let's just switch it back to the word fall. Now, if the bird state is not fall, we want our bird to do something else. We want our bird to accelerate upward or fly. So in this else section right here, which is kind of like saying or else, we want to add in an accelerate as well. So I'll type in the word accelerate. And this time we want to set this up so our bird accelerates upwards, so 90 degrees. And I'll also choose a value of 600 for the acceleration. So very simple stuff. When the word fall is the default of this attribute, then we want to accelerate downward. When this word is anything else, we want to accelerate upward. And that's essentially what we've set up here. But how do we change that state? How do we change the fall to something like fly? Well, we have to use a button. And the perfect actor to use as a button is actually our background actor, because it's the only actor that takes up our entire camera space. I know it doesn't look like a button, but it works perfectly because it's in this entire space. So if we were to click or tap with our finger in any of this camera space, then we can trigger that button. So let's go to our background, and we're going to use our background as a button to change this bird state from fall to something else. So we'll create a rule, and the rule is a very simple rule that says when you are touched, so type in the word touch, then what do we want to happen? Well, we want to change that attribute, so I'll type in the word change attribute. And the attribute we want to change is that bird state. So I'll click on this little letter A, and I'll navigate to that attribute. So click on Attributes, Game, and then double click bird state. So when the background is touched, I want to change bird state to the word fly. And then we can also open up this or else tab and say, well, if you're not touched, then I want you to change the attribute bird state back to the word fall. So again, very simple stuff. There's only one rule in our background actor, and that's when you are touched, I want you to change an attribute here in the do section. So bird state attribute, change that to fly, And in the else section, or else, change the bird state back to fall. So if we preview this, if we click on our screen here, we can see we can get our bird to fly, but if I let go, our bird will start to fall. So I'll click to fly up, and then I can let go to fall down. So that's working perfectly. So just a few set of rules inside our bird and a few set of rules inside our background actor. So anywhere I click inside the background, of course, we're going to change that bird state. Now the only last thing that we want to do here is you notice that if I get my bird to fall or fly, we can get our bird to kind of come out through the bottom of the screen here. And that's where our destroy bird actor comes into play that we set up earlier. So let's simply click on our bird again. We can fold down these rules to give us a little bit of extra workspace here. We're going to create a brand new rule inside our bird that says when you collide, so type in the word collision and click on that. When you collide with the destroy bird actor, again we're inside our bird actor now, so when you collide with the destroy bird actor, then I want you to destroy yourself. So in the do section, type in the word destroy. So I'm going to bring my destroy bird actor down into my camera area so we can just see that this is working. I'll preview this. So our bird's flying along, and then when our bird comes into contact with that destroy bird actor, our bird is then destroyed. So we can go ahead and put this back into position. So this just prevents our bird from looping around our scene, just like we created the destroy pipe actor to prevent our pipes from looping around our scene as well.